This is for Tracy, who's asked me more than once for Fondant Fancies, and I've not been putting it off, Tracy, honestly. It's just that I couldn't fit it all into a 59-second video, but now I have YouTube. We have YouTube, and so I've zipped it over there. But these are great little Fondant Fancies. I've got here two 8-inch square sponges, fill them with buttercream, and then I pop them in the freezer. I'm making my fondant icing, it's all in the recipe, and then I take my cake out, trim it, and then cut it into 16 equal sized little squares, pop those back in the freezer. And then I've got circles of marzipan. I use a 10cm cutter, and I'm brushing the edges of these pieces of frozen cake with melted apricot jam. And then I take my circle of marzipan, can you see, and I put that over the top. That's really rolled really thin. And then can you see what I'm doing? I'm sort of squeezing the edges like this, and then I actually take a pair of scissors to trim the edges, and the scissors actually seal the marzipan for you. Can you see what I'm doing? I've tried to zoom it in so that you can see clearly, and then I trim round the bottom to cut off any excess. And then we're ready for the fondant, and the fondant's already made, and it needs to be quite warm, but not too warm that it's too thin. But you'll see the consistency. And the other thing I've done, I've completely vandalised one of my old forks. Can you see what I've done to it? Because that will act as a great little tool for suspending my cakes over this fondant. And this is how I do it. And then I've got a little ladle here, and I just ladle this fondant over the top. This is the consistency it needs to be. Can you see? If it starts to thicken up, because as you work with it and it cools down, it starts to thicken up, just put it over a pan of warm water, and it'll loosen up again. And then what you need to do is, when you've finished covering each little fondant fancy, put it on a cooling tray with a piece of foil underneath to catch any drips. And then when they're touch dry, can you see what a lovely, beautiful satin finish they've got on them? Then you can start to decorate. I've just done these simply, but you'll have great fun decorating these.